good, everybody? My name is Gentleman Jugg.
And I'm Son.
Welcome back to the Gentleman Juggcast. I think this is 47. It might be. How you doing today, boy?
I'm alright.
Good. So, let me do some business, if you'll indulge me for a second.
I guess I will.
Okay, Gentleman Jugg on YouTube.
Ooh.
Gentleman Jugg on Twitter at Gentleman Jugg.
Okay.
Gentleman Jugg on Instagram at Gentleman Jugg. Yeah. That's all I got so far besides the Juggcast. I don't have anything else to plug or promote, and our quest to get paid. You just got to keep on promoting yourself and making things happen.
Yeah.
And this is what we're attempting to do by doing these shitty podcasts.
Yep.
Okay. But instead, we'll continue the trend of making our little shitty podcast. And we got a movie to talk about today.
Yep.
What's that movie, boy?
Punisher. Warzone.
That's right. The old 2008, I guess you can call it a classic. For me, 2008 feels like yesterday. Okay. I don't know. For you, 2008 feels like, I don't know when, like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Probably
would it be wrong to say that?
No.
Yeah. So,
seeing as I'm past 100 by now.
At least, right?
Yeah.
But we'll get into Punisher Warzone. Yeah, came out in 2008, around the same year as Iron Man 1 and The Incredible Hulk.
And The Dark Knight.
So, this is the fourth movie of that year that's superhero.
3 Marvel heroes against 1.
Yeah. And look, it's
a movie.
It's a movie. I mean, look, this is one of those times where they were trying to be as comic book accurate with the character the Punisher as they could. Okay. And I look at the script and I'm thinking you might have wanted to take another couple drafts on this script. Because it's a rough one.
This is why Marvel Knights never took off.
Yeah. Marvel Knights, if I remember correctly, was supposed to be like, in the comics, it was like a series of characters who were street level superheroes.
So like the Defenders?
Yeah, mostly the Defenders. Spider-Man is still a street level hero, but, he does have his big moments as well. So he was like not a Marvel Knight. Plus, he wasn't one of the popular ones, or not he wasn't one of the unpopular ones. He was one of the popular ones.
So he fights street level people, but if needed, he goes to a higher level.
Yeah, he'll go to higher levels. And that's great, and I like that. And Marvel Knights was supposed to be a whole different bag and can of worms. And so this Punisher movie was meant to be another one of those types of movies where it was going to be like, hey, we're just doing street level hero action. And this is that time.
in Warzone.
Yeah, and Punisher Warzone. So the movie kicks off with a guy just watching TV.
Oh.
Yeah, in the shadows. He's like in the shadows watching TV, and look, you can tell it's most likely the Punisher.
Yeah,
okay.
We think it's the man who needs to punish.
Yeah, and the Punisher in this movie is played by this cat named Ray Stevenson. But what's going on is that in this particular scene, they're just they're like, it's like an opening credits where they're kind of showing the origin a bit of the Punisher.
It's like the start of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, but here's the problem that I got with that. What if you don't know shit about these characters?
Well, too bad.
This just means jack shit. Now look, if you're a comic book fan, you know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how it went down. You know that Frank Castle had his family killed in front of him, and he decides to go and punish everybody who's responsible, and then he goes and starts punishing everybody, who's a bad guy.
So I guess Marvel's like, so you guys know Punisher's story. You don't know about Uncle Ben though.
Yeah.
But you know Punisher.
You know Punisher, right?
You just don't know Uncle Ben.
Yeah. So we go to New York because that's where this movie takes place, and we're at a rich house, and John Cena comes out of a car.
Yeah.
It's not John Cena.
It looks like him, and we just kept calling him John Cena.
He looks like John Cena, like evil John Cena, and I just saw it, and I was like, that's immediately John Cena. It's actually Dominic West, but he's playing Billy, Jigsaw. And that's fine,
Not the one from Netflix, though.
Yeah. See, Netflix, the Punisher Netflix, that shit is great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love that show.
Could watch it all day.
I could watch it all day, and we did watch it all day when it came out.
Yeah.
And then we watched season 2 when it came out. It was great. This is not that show. Okay.
This is Warzone.
Yeah, so he gets out of the house, out of the car, and this one chick starts freaking like trying to help him fix his hair, and he just chokes her up against the Escalade.
He's like, you can't see me.
He wishes he would have said that. He would have made it been infinitely more cool if he would have said that. He's just like, no. He's like, do I ask you how to put on your makeup? That's how he sounded, just like that. So whatever. So later on, John Cena goes into a room with the other bad guys, and they're talking business, and he's talking business to the old mafia boss. I don't know his name, but you said he sounds like Kami.
Yeah, he does. He has like the same voice as Kami. He's like, hello there.
Yeah. Like, you sound like Kami from Dragon Ball Z, dude. What are you doing here?
Son Goku.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There's words. Everybody gets mad. Then everybody walks off because, the mob business is all business, I guess. I don't know what to say on that, but it just, whatever. Then everybody starts eating dinner.
Yeah.
And immediately the Punisher comes out like Batman Year One in a dining room, turns the lights off, turns a flare on, and doesn't say a word. He just starts killing people.
Like, all right, Punisher.
He murks everybody in that house.
Punisher Year One.
Pretty much. And this looked cool, right?
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool. Him sitting there shooting everybody and murdering people.
Yeah, but like I said on Daredevil, I've been spoiled by the Netflix show, so I've seen some real violence.
You've seen real violence, huh?
Yeah.
Real, like you've been out there.
Yeah, I was on the set, yeah.
I was in the streets.
I was in the streets, and I saw the Punisher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that this guy, he gives off Punisher vibes. He does.
Yeah.
But like his costume to me is just awful.
Yeah, this guy didn't take a drill to the foot.
But it's like he has the skull on his chest, but it's very muted. You really can't see it unless you're looking for it.
I wish it was like it should have been like the show where he spray paints it and you can see it like in the dark.
Yeah. Just a clear skull. There's no skull that you can really see.
No.
But whatever. So, I keep saying John Cena. His name it's Billy. So Billy manages to get away.
Billy Cena.
Billy Cena. He manages to get away and go to his warehouse where I guess his office of operations is. And the Punisher follows him there. And in the car, the Punisher, I guess, has a broken nose. And so he looks in the car he's in, gets a pen, and unbreaks his nose.
If Black Widow can do it, so can he.
Yeah. But he did it first, technically, right?
Yeah.
So if he can do it, Black Widow can do it.
He did it with a pencil.
I think he did it with a pen. I don't know, because a pencil would have broken, right? I bet a pencil would have broken.
Yeah.
When you're trying to readjust your nose.
With a pencil.
John Wick kills people with pencils. He doesn't kill people with pens. Punisher fixes his nose with a pen. Okay.
And Black Widow fixes her nose with a table.
Yeah. Look, when shit like that happens, it just takes me out of the movie. But, I mean, look, I was already out of the movie when I saw John Cena. It was over for me. It was over.
It was over.
So, in this factory, enter these 3 parkour guys. I already hate them. They don't add anything to the story at all. If they were not in the movie, nothing would be different, really.
They're only good for one scene later.
Yeah, one scene, and that's it. So, I don't know. They come in, they start talking, and they leave. And the guy, John Cena, only pays them like $1,000 to leave.
Yeah.
So they leave. And then the Punisher comes in, and he starts freaking killing everybody.
Yep.
Blowing everybody up, shooting everybody. He ends up killing an undercover cop that worked for the FBI. So I guess he's an undercover FBI agent.
Like, they keep saying cop. I'm like, it's FBI.
He's FBI. Okay, that's what happened. And it's upsetting to him, And in the midst of this whole entire fight, Billy ends up freaking falling into a glass mill. Now, I don't know what this warehouse is for. But
it's for an origin story.
They have glass bottles in a mill. And Billy falls into him, and Punisher turns it on, assuming that he killed this guy.
I mean, he could have just shot him in the head.
He could have shot him in the head, but he decided to freaking be cute with it and just turn on the freaking mill and rip this guy's body apart. Somehow, it only happened to his face. So...
He's not like, no, Punisher, no!
Not my face!
Not my face.
He didn't sound like that at all, but I'm making him sound like that. So,
I mean, I guess it's cool, but it's, it's not like having your face pressed up against a mirror or anything.
Yeah.
And like just scraped all over the place. But, I guess this is cool too.
Yeah. So, turns out the Punisher, because he killed this undercover cop, he's upset, so he decides to punish himself by walking home.
That's what he did.
Yeah. And he walks all the way back from where he was to his lair with, I guess, a broken arm. I'm not sure. He just walked all the way home with guns out and everything. And he gets back to his lair.
And the FBI are like, why can't we find this guy?
Yeah, he walked all the way home.
With guns out and everything. He wasn't even hiding.
At all.
And like, you guys still can't find him?
So, turns out Cena's still alive. We can see him. He's got glass and shit all over his face. He's fucked up. He is. But then I realized 20 minutes in and I haven't heard this guy's voice.
The Punisher?
The Punisher.
He hasn't said a single word yet.
20 minutes in. Nothing.
Just silence and angry growls and...
Yeah, so we meet Soap. Detective Soap.
Like you said, we meet Soap.
That we did. That's his name, Soap. S-O-A-P. Detective Soap. He's being played by this guy named Dash Mihok, who basically tells us the entire Punisher origin story. So we're told it. We don't see it. I mean, we see a couple scenes where he's like, where Frank has a tear, a single tear. He's like, he didn't. He didn't do that. He did not do that. He just a flashback with him holding his kid, and a single tear comes down from his eye. He didn't make that sound. Okay. Whatever. So, after that scene, we also meet, what's his name? FBI Detective Paul.
Oh, I just called him FBI Phil.
His name is Paul.
I thought his name was Phil. So like,
yeah, he's being played by Colin Salmon. What does that say?
It says salmon.
It says salmon. Okay. Maybe that's not how you say his name. I've seen him in plenty of movies.
Maybe it's said as Salmon.
It's probably salmon. It says salmon. But whatever. So we meet both of these guys are talking to each other about the Punisher's origin story, and then we cut to immediately the character Micro being played by Wayne Knight. This is Frank's bestie. Way better in the freaking TV show, The Punisher.
I know. I mean, see in the TV show, Frank tied him to a chair and stripped him of his clothes, and then beat him up and threw him in a trunk.
And then they were besties.
Yeah.
Now this guy's supposed to be getting all of Frank's weaponry, and in the comics, that's what he does. He makes the Punisher a battle van, I think, and the van has it's like another base of operations. It's basically a bat cave in a van.
Yeah, it was like in Spider-Man, the old show.
Yeah, but I mean, it was in the comics too, so they didn't just make that up.
Yeah, seeing Spider-Man, the van shoots goo.
It's great. I wanted to see that van. That van is not in this movie.
I wanted to see the van shoot goo.
I don't think he was in a vehicle after this.
Well, there was the police car.
Yeah, but that was at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
I don't think he was in another vehicle at all. How does he get to these places? Does he just walk there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They showed him walk home, so he must walk everywhere.
He must walk everywhere. So,
like the Terminator.
Yeah. So, John Cena, he's hurting. The guy who did plastic surgery to him to kind of fix his face up a little bit, to where it's not like just hanging off the bone. He fixes his face as much as possible, and we meet the character who now calls himself Jigsaw.
Or as I call him, Jig Cena.
Jig Cena. There you go. So, he looks different, but not really that much different.
To me, he looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
It's monster.
I'll give you that. And, I don't know. It feels like his lines as Jigsaw sound better written.
Yeah.
Because when he says them out loud, you're like, that's goofy as fuck. Why would you say that? But, I mean, the Punisher is no different. There's a line later on, where I'm like, what the fuck was that? So,
I laughed.
Yeah, it was funny. So, we're now in the second act, and things are super fucking boring. Okay? We meet Looney Bin Jim.
That's his name.
Yeah. And, he's being played by Doug Hutchinson, and of course he's hamming it up as a cannibal, and this is fine. I mean, like, he meets a guy, the guy's feeding him applesauce, and then he starts eating the applesauce himself, and then when Jigsaw comes in to save him, he's like, I'm gonna go get my applesauce back.
The way he said it, too.
It's exactly how he said it. And then I'm good at impressions. And that's how he said it. I'm gonna go get my applesauce back. And I'm just like... and he rips him open, right?
Yeah.
Barehanded, and eats his... I guess it's a kidney?
Yeah. And, when I saw this, I'm like, so these are the villains of this movie?
These are the villains of this movie. They're goofy as shit.
And then, they're like, what about these medications? We might need these. And Jake Cena's like, nah, he looks pretty good to me.
He's all right. It's like, I think I'm still going to go ahead and put this in my pocket, just in case. So Punisher goes to the house of the FBI agent he killed, and he meets his daughter, being played by Grace. I'm sorry, her name is Grace.
Yeah.
As a character, but the girl's played by Stephanie. I'm gonna mess her name up. It's Jenu right there.
Jenu Saska.
Yeah. Look it up if you really care. Okay. And he's apparently in her light while she's drawing because, as you do, a kid just freaking starts coloring outside, in the dark, on the front porch of New York City.
After her dad's been killed.
For being an FBI informant. And the mother's nowhere to be found.
So he steps in her light, and she's like, you stepped in my light. So he gives her a flashlight, and he says, and for the next time someone steps in your light.
And she's like, Thanks.
And she turns it on.
Yeah. So immediately, her mother does finally come out. Her name is Angela. She's being played by Julie Benz. And she shows up and they have a moment where he's like, hey, shoot me. I'm like, this is the Punisher. You're not going to shoot him. He's not dying, okay?
Okay.
And they're not even going to be in any danger.
And then I think his wife says something along the lines of like, is this how I punish you?
Who punishes you?
Yeah, she said, who punishes you? And I was like, roll credits.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's just the wrong type of sad moment in this movie.
You know, there's a certain Netflix show that does these scenes better.
Yeah. So, and then it happens. LBJ and his name is Looney Bin Jin, but I'm gonna call him LBJ from here on out.
Sounds like a sandwich.
Yeah.
Lettuce, bacon, and jam.
Yeah, lettuce, bacon, and jam shows up, and it's just as ridiculous as this guy is. Okay,
It's funny because like they show Jig's scene, and he's looking, he's like, I can't look at my reflection.
I'm so upset. I just can't do it. So LBJ decides to say, you know, hey, look, I'll do something, and he starts freaking throwing his body into mirrors, head-button mirrors, breaking them. And he's like, you'll never have to look at another mirror when I'm around.
I'm like, well, great. Now you can see his reflection like 5 times.
Yeah, because all the mirrors are broken, but whatever.
And I'm like, this is so
It's just ridiculous. And then we see how bad at Jigsaw is by how he conducts meetings. You know, there's a guy here disrespecting him, and I know that when you're in a, I mean, I don't know this personally. I've never been a part of one.
Oh,
But when you are in these situations where mob bosses are talking to one another, there's always respect because, you know, you have to freaking respect each other just to get shit done. And the other guy, the Russian, his mob boss is sitting there talking to him, and he's just fucking being a piece of shit. And so Jigsaw sticks a champagne glass through his neck. And if I'm the Russian, I'm like, dude, no deal. You just killed my guy. I'm going to kill you.
yeah.
You know, but whatever. So I guess the Russians' deal is that they want to ship in some bioweapon. And Jigsaw has all the documents and docs and things like that to get that into the country.
Yeah.
You know, so they make a deal. Okay, fine. Then it's just like, it feels like 3 hours of exposition. Just nothing is going on.
It's funny because this movie feels like a lot happens, but also nothing.
Yeah, this is like 2 days of movie.
Yeah.
Okay? So, finally shit starts happening again a little bit when the parkour crew, that's not even their name, but I don't even care.
PKC.
Whatever. I don't give a shit. You can give them all the freaking, you know, letters you want, but I don't give a fuck.
Crazy guys doing flips.
I guess. I mean, they're not even exciting when they do parkour.
No.
Okay? And so one of them decides to do a side flip, and right when he does a side flip, a rocket hits him and blows him up.
And that's it.
And that's how that guy dies.
And that's the one scene I liked about this parkour.
It was fucking, I laughed my ass off. I had to watch it like at least 4 times because I just did not see that coming. I've seen this movie before, and I completely forgot about that. And then the other 2 parkour guys just stand there while the Punisher shoots them.
Yeah, don't even give
They don't even try to parkour away from it or nothing.
Nope.
They just stand there.
And then I guess while the Punisher just interrogates one of them, right?
Yeah.
He says, "Don't kill me, Mr. Punisher, sir." And he's like, "Okay." And we cut to the next scene where
He just throws him off a building and into a freaking fence.
Yeah.
You know, and the fence kills him because it goes right through his neck. And I just, all right, whatever. So, while this is going on, Jigsaw shows up at the family's house.
Yeah.
You know, and they just begin to destroy the place. The reason why Jigsaw is here is because the FBI informant had money, and he put that money in evidence. Well, Jigsaw wants that money back. So that's why he's here at this house at this time, and he should just cut his losses because he's about to make 12 million bucks. But he decides, no, I'm going to come here and fuck with this family. So that's exactly what he does.
He's like, I want my money. And then he just starts ripping up a couch. I want my money. Just starts ripping up everything. He keeps saying it every time he destroys something. He's like, where my money?
Yeah. So, when this happens, the Punisher is being arrested by Detective Phil and Detective Paul. You fucked me up.
Or as I call him, FBI Phil.
Yeah, FBI Paul just gets him, and then that's that, and I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. So,
yeah, he got the Punisher just that easily.
Yeah, he just got him, and so the Punisher's in the backseat of the police car with, Paul and, what's the guy's name? Soap, Detective Soap.
Soap, Paul, and Pun.
Yeah, and they get there, and Detective Paul goes into the house and immediately gets captured. So the Punisher goes in there.
Yeah.
Because Detective Soap let him out.
Oh.
And the first guy who's been doing drugs this entire time, he walks to the freaking door. The Punisher shows up and punches a hole in his face.
Yeah. He's a normal human with no super strength, the Punisher, but
he's able to punch a hole in this guy's face. I guess he was that mad. He had to punish him by punching a hole in his face.
He's punished now.
Yeah. So, the other bad guy who's holding the family hostage, the Punisher comes in and shoots him in the face with a shotgun in front of a little girl.
Yeah.
You know.
That's okay.
Yeah. Once that happens, Paul manages to capture Jigsaw and LBJ.
It's funny, like he's by himself and he has like 2 guns, so he runs in and he's like, drop them, and they do.
And they do. So while they're in jail, exposition's happening. In the exposition, I guess Jigsaw works out a deal with the police. And look, it's just boring at this point. The second act really fell off a cliff. Okay.
First act was like looking at the edge of the cliff, thinking about it, and then the second act, like, let's just jump.
And the third act was like, we're going to try to climb back up. So, look, the police work with Jigsaw. They capture the Russians because the Russians have to be in here for the final scene. And
because they're trying to blow something up.
During this time, Jigsaw also manages to get his hands on Micro and kidnap him. They just go ahead and waste Wayne Knight, who's playing Micro, whatever. So the Punisher goes back to his lair, and I guess Micro freaking got tortured enough to tell him where the lair was. So Looney Bin Jim goes there and gets the family. The mother and daughter. This is all boring. It should be exciting. It should be great. The psychotic person ghost managed to find his way into the lair of his enemy and kidnaps a wife or a mother and her daughter.
Now, what's funny is that all these guns were just laying there that Punisher has. He didn't take any of them.
Yeah, just left, just got the family, and that's it.
So now it's like he's not just loony, he's stupid.
Stupid
Looney Bin Jim.
Yeah, stupid Looney Bin Jim. So the Punisher goes to church to go and talk to, I guess, a priest. And he says this fucking line.
Yeah.
You want to say it?
I no.
Sometimes I'd like to get my hands on God. I'm like, what? Like, maybe it probably sounded better when you wrote it out, but him saying it, I'm like, that was a line that just didn't need to be said. I'm done. And
that priest is like, okay, man.
Okay, well, good luck.
He said, good luck with that, man.
Good luck with that, dude. So, there's only like a little bit left of this movie.
But the last part just feels really stretched out, though.
It really did. And so they go to the final scene because, the Punisher has Micro and he has the 2 girls.
Oh, you mean Jigsaw?
No, the Punisher. No, yeah, that's right. You're right. Jigsaw has Micro. And, look. they go to this random freaking building in New York, and the cops aren't supposed to be there because they threw away a line saying that we called the bomb squad here, so nothing's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I didn't know you could just do that, but you did it. You know,
They even had like Jigsaw go around recruiting a bunch of henchmen for this.
yeah,
With
and
like an
it's
American
just like,
flag in the background. And
yeah, it's just like you got all these warring gangs to sit there and freaking, come together to take out the Punisher, and you're gonna pay them. Well, he's not gonna pay them because the Punisher is basically just has a bunch of meat shields, just so he can freaking take out this guy.
yeah, the Punisher brings the Russians.
Yeah. So, because the Russians are mad because, Jigsaw freaking got one of their guys kidnapped. And then it's like 20 minutes of just, violence and shooting and
A war zone?
a literal war zone. And it looks cool. It does. Okay? But I've seen this shit. And I've seen it better.
In a TV show.
In a TV show. Daredevil season 2 and in this show, in the Punisher show. And look, it's fine. I've seen it better. In the middle of the freaking chaos, most of the gangs get killed by the Punisher, even including the Russians.
And we get to see the Punisher fight stupid Looney Bin Jim in a bathroom.
Yeah.
On a toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a toilet. In a toilet, not on a toilet. And then toward the very end, what happens? Looney Bin Jim escapes and runs away. Goes to where, the girls and Micro are being held by Jigsaw. And they put him in like a Mexican standoff where he's like, you gotta kill your friend Micro or kill the girls. I'll let the other one go free. I'm like, aren't you about to die, dude? The Punisher's here to kill you. So if you kill one of them, he's gonna probably kill you. And what happens? He does kill one of them. He kills Micro, shoots him right in the fucking head.
Because Punisher chose to save
the girls
by killing a Looney Jim guy.
Yeah, so that's how Looney Bin Jim dies. And I don't care. And immediately the Punisher fights Jigsaw when the girls get away. And in the middle of the fight, he grabs a rod and shoves it through Looney Bin Jim's side.
You mean Jigsaw?
Did I say... I don't care. Through Jig Cena's side and kills him.
He throws him on the fire, too. And the way he dies, he's like on fire, like...
Yeah. It sounds that goofy. It just does.
It did. I'm like, okay. You couldn't scream like you're in pain. He just goes.
Yeah. It was awful. It just a terrible death. And he's like, "This is what you're in for. This is just a start."
I know this is the end.
Whatever. So,
so Micro dies and Punisher doesn't really care.
Not even more. You see how bored I am with talking about this?
Yeah.
So they go outside. They wrap everything up, and that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, FBI Paul's like, you did it.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, I did do it.
And the Punisher walks away.
Just in time to come back and save a cop from getting mugged.
He even fixed the cross line where it says, Jesus saves.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, this movie's over, and we're just shitting now on this movie, and I was bored, and for like maybe 2 or 3 scenes, I was like, "This is pretty cool," but then for the most part of the movie, bored.
This movie punished me.
I couldn't. You were waiting all day to say that, weren't you? What do you give this movie, son?
Well, see, I'm just gonna give it a 1. I don't like it. I was thinking about giving it a 2 because of how goofy the villains were. Whenever I see goofy stuff that's this bad, like in Superman 2 or 3 and 4, I tend to give it a higher score because it's making me laugh. But honestly, it doesn't deserve it. It's a 1.
I'm giving it a 2, like the lowest 2 I can give.
The lowest.
I was entertained, and that's what it was supposed to do. But a lot of the movie was me not being entertained. It was me being bored out of my mind.
It's like the goofy stuff was what gives it a 1 because that's the only reason I cared.
Yeah.
If you took all that stuff out, I think I'd just have fallen asleep.
I probably would have fallen asleep too.
Like this was not it.
Yeah, well, fortunately they gave us a better Punisher material made by the MCU. That's probably about to be on Disney Plus here in a bit.
It's 2 and technically 2 seasons and one season of Daredevil.
Yeah. I don't hate the Punisher. I actually like the Punisher character.
Yeah.
But this movie ain't it.
This ain't it, bro. Ain't no drill in the foot.
Nah.
Nah. If it ain't no drill in the foot, it's not my Punisher.
I don't want to hear about it. Anyways, I'm gonna have to call this an episode, son.
Yeah.
It's been great. Hopefully you guys out there had fun. All 10 of you. They get lower and lower as I think about it.
Pretty soon it'll be like all 1 of you.
Yeah, the other person.
Like, you hope you had fun.
I hope you had a good time. But hey, that's it. And the next one will be available
when it's ready.